Sag, welcome. It's Erin Scott here. We are going to be tapping into your evolutionary cycle. This month I'm using gouache paints versus the pencils that I used the last couple of months. So let's kind of tap in. This is for the dynamic Pisces new moon cycle. And this particular sun-moon conjunction was also conjunct Chiron. And it is representing, naturally, by its nature, a healing narrative that is at play for all of us. And it comes just 2 weeks after Venus and Mercury were also conjunct Chiron. So let me go ahead. I'm going to tap in and just see what images, pictures, forms want to come through, and then we're going to do a little analysis. The gouache is similar to a watercolor. It can get quite opaque, although a lot of the channelings that I've been doing this month have come out very watercolor-like, very transparent, which feels appropriate, fluid, and fun. Really wonderful to work with. I love this medium. As I've said with the other signs, I do hope that you are all navigating this chapter as best as you can, with an open mind and an openness to heal and to let life move you into your evolved state, because that's really what's at hand here. In a bigger way than it's been before, really. It's part of the collective unfolding of the human psyche. The mass collective consciousness is really being required to open from the ego's insistence on identification. So there's a lot of dissemination of realities that is playing out, and it has been playing out. So here's my bowl. Just FYI. So that's what I'm working with here, a variety of different colors, and it's been fascinating to see the different colorations that are focused for the different signs this month. It's been wonderful. Gouache is just a pleasure to work with. I used to use it quite often for my own personal stuff, but I haven't channeled with it yet until this month, and it's delicious. Just delicious. So let's see what's coming through here. So Sag, the period of time that we're looking at for this particular, by the way, this is the natural arc of the Sagittarian unfolding. The embodiment of the Sag archetype is going through, like every archetype, growth and evolution. Everything is expanding. And what we're tapping into now is the cycle between mid-March 2018 and mid-April 2018. Associated with the Pisces new moon cycle. And you'll notice that a lot of this stuff is not representational, it's really more symbolic. Of form, of picture, of movement, and that has meaning, it has function. Form has function, and that's what we're tapping into here. So you do have like a speckled energy that's coming through that has some sort of a tentacle upward. And what I'm getting from the dots, or these It's like lots of thoughts, energy. It might feel like scattering for some of you. But it's kind of in this kind of rusty orange, which does indicate expansion, thought expansion, education. And it might be that a lot of you are feeling like you're expanding, like your mind might be reaching out for something. Let me see what else is coming here. So Sag, let's go ahead and start talking about this. There might be more that wants to come through. That's kind of how it's been working, that sometimes, you know, there's the conversation that comes through and then there's more painting to come. So let's see what wants to come for you too. So there's a couple things. One is there's this kind of contained space here in green, all right? Kind of like that sage green. Contained space with yellow, all right? And this is this lemon yellow color. I have two different yellows that I've been using. This one's a brighter, more vibrant lemon yellow. It's called lemon yellow. And it's filling this container. Now the container in green does inherently represent some sort of aspect of the self that is growing, you know, that is burgeoning life, that might be associating itself more with springtime or upward movement or growth because it's green. So we're looking at the coloration, and we're also looking at the fact that it's a container. So what could this mean for you? It could mean that something with regards to how you are contained, your home environment or your home itself, your work, and that environment, that context, you might feel that there's some growth happening with regards to some context in your life. The interesting thing is the yellow is indicating naturally some sort of optimism. Yellow is a very joyous color. It's optimistic. It does also reflect third chakra, which is the will, and it's the personality. It's your emanation, how you emanate yourself outward to the world. But there's a joyousness here, and there's an optimism there. So what I get for the cycle for the Sagittarian growth narrative is, in some respect, some container with which you are associated in your life. Home, work, maybe some organization that you do work with, but there's some container with which you're holding optimistic thoughts, feelings, energies around it. There's growth happening with something in your life, a context where there's optimism. Up here, there's like this pink coming down with an arrow, and it almost looks like, and I'm just now seeing this, it almost looks like a tree branch and something coming down from the tree branch into this almost what could be considered a liquid light in this context of your life. And the pink coming down, maybe a tree branch coming down with the arrow, it could be something reaching down from growth. Something has grown. This could be from an old tree. This is what I'm getting, and I urge you to pay attention to your own psyche's analysis of what's coming through here, because really you have your distinct narrative that's going on within the broader narrative here, and I'm really picking up on something broad for the growth, for the ego growth evolution. But here, tree branch implies old growth. So something old grown. Pink and red might indicate, let's say, a love relationship or a loving partnership. It could be family. It could be the family tree. Family tree An extension of it could be a parent, could be a sibling, could be a relative of some sort of the family. It's pink. It could represent a feminine figure in your life. So it could be family tree, an old growth narrative. Something is coming down into this context of your life where you have an optimistic view. There is a penetration perhaps of into your life. There's a penetration by, perhaps, for some of you, a feminine figure in your family who is impacting your joy, impacting your beingness in your particular growth context. Whatever is growing in your life right now, there might be some penetration from a family member over the course of this cycle. Now, with that being said, there's this black that emerged here, almost like a circle at the bottom and then just wavy lines. So there could be some heaviness with regards to this penetration that's happening in what was maybe a relatively happy, existence in your context, whether work or family. But this penetration might be bringing up some darkness from the past, some memories from the past that have to be then contended with. So it's a growth edge. Here we have this orange. Orange does represent new knowledge. For me, it's new knowledge and it's education. Okay? It's expansion. It's also joyous. There's a joyfulness to the orange. But there's something coming out of the green that is dotted, that has many branches from it, or many, let's say, aspects coming up from it. And then it extends upward through kind of the crux of the tree branch, almost like where it is coming down to penetrate your life. So maybe there's a division point. There's new information coming, perhaps, about maybe plans for a feminine figure to come into your reality or your existence, or a family member. It doesn't have to be a woman. It doesn't have to be a female figure, although that's kind of what I'm picking up, not just from the pink, but also from the arrow insignia, which could be a phallus, could be a male, but that's not what I'm getting here. What I'm getting here is a female, almost vaginal. So it could be that there is some, let's say, point at which, over the course of this cycle, you're learning, you're researching, perhaps there's new information coming in about maybe some plans for a family member. And in one, let's say, way by which this could manifest. So you're thinking about, what I get here is that you're thinking and you're researching. And you're researching about, okay, what would happen if she comes here with me, or if the family member comes here with me. But there's some dark energy around it too. So you're not sure. There could be a decision point. That's what I'm getting. There could be a decision coming up for you over the course of this particular cycle, mid-March to mid-April, where you're having to navigate what is in your best interest, and perhaps also what's in the family member's best interest as well. I want to do this. I want to do this. So it might be that there are some blocks or some doubts. I almost get that there's doubts or some sort of obstacles that are coming forward over the course of the cycle with regards to this penetration. So maybe there's a delay with something that was planned or being planned, because again, I get that your mind is going in different places here. You're researching, you're trying to understand what would be optimal for this particular evolution with this family member. Now, for those of you where this isn't talking about a family member, this could be somebody in your realm of reality, a friend. It could be a friend tribe, a family that is your tribe versus your blood relationships. But there's some indication of penetration into your joyful growth reality that you have to navigate Is it in your best interest for your next steps? There is some, let's say, darkness that's coming through here that has to do with you maybe remembering things from the past and needing to get clear on what that's talking about so that you can understand the wound set so that you can heal yourself appropriately. Indeed, this person penetrating your reality doesn't mean that the wounds have to come up again, but it might be that it's time to release that narrative and let it go. So let's pull a card for you, Sag. This is from the Carolyn Mace Archetype cards, and we're going to pull up what the core or foundational growth is for you. Evolutionary growth. What aspect of the self, what quality within you is asking to be grown, matured, expanded, and evolved over the course of the cycle? Now, for all of us, there are many, but what is the prime growth edge for you? Let's take a look. For Sag. Slave. Now, this came up for one of the other signs, Sag. Let me make sure you can see that. Yeah. Slave. So I can't remember what other sign, but another sign also got slave as the growth edge. So this might be a big narrative for evolution over the course of the cycle. What wants to be grown and evolved is the idea and the reality of giving your willpower to an external authority out of fear of making your own choices. Now, if we're just looking at that, indeed, if this is an authority figure in the family that is talking about or thinking about, or you're considering coming back into your reality, that is something that is up for your consideration, okay? What wants to be evolved is surrendering your power of choice to the divine with complete trust. So it is about understanding that, first of all, it's looking at the bigger picture, accessing your higher perceptive mechanism so that you can actually see yourself, the reality, the situation, the circumstance, and the kind of the bigger arc of your story, the patterns that have been involved. You know, maybe you're wanting to break the patterns, but it doesn't mean that this person can't re-enter your life, but the patterns are asking to be broken. You're researching, you're thinking new too. Again, the orange is expansive. So there's new thoughts coming up for you over the course of the cycle. So let me read this again. So what wants to be evolved out of is giving your willpower to an external authority out of fear of making your own choices. And what wants to be evolved is surrendering your power of choice to the divine with complete trust. So it's understanding that there's a bigger growth arc activated for you, as there is for all of us at this time, as is the natural way that life operates. We are all growing and evolving. Everything is expanding. So, Sag, I'm sending you much love and support for the month ahead. For those interested in learning about my holosynthesis work and the breadth of it, I encourage you to go to my website, thealchemyofholism.com. It's time to get clear on our inner stories and also to simultaneously get free from them. Okay? So I'm sending you much love for the month ahead, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.